The integration program had been running for 6 months. 30 human children, ages 8 to 14, were now attending the prestigious Galactic Academy Primary Division. Today was the final examination, the moment when alien educators would determine if humans could truly coexist with other species in educational settings. Professor ZYN, a towering ethereal whose body phased between solid and gaseous states, stood before the mixed classroom. Human children sat alongside young crystallines who communicated through harmonic resonance, small zephyrs whose colors shifted with emotion, and 3 juvenile krell whose gaseous forms drifted lazily near the ceiling. Today's exam, Professor ZYN announced, tests your capacity for collaborative problem-solving. You will work in mixed species groups to solve the Nexus puzzle. The puzzle materialized as a holographic display, a 3-dimensional labyrinth with 17 simultaneous problems occurring in different dimensions. It was designed for beings with different sensory capabilities to work together. The crystallines could perceive patterns invisible to others. The zephyrs could sense emotional energy patterns. The krell could think in 4-dimensional space. And humans? The aliens expected humans would be the weak link. A human girl named Sophia was grouped with a crystalline named Shara, a young zephyr named Kay, and a krell designation simply as Storm. We should divide the puzzle by species capability, Shara suggested logically. Each of us handles what we can perceive. That won't work, Sophia said quietly. The other students turned to her. In the past 6 months, humans had learned to speak up, but rarely with such confidence. Why not? Asked Kay, his colors flickering with curious greens. Because problems aren't designed to be separated, Sophia explained. On Earth, we learned that the hardest problems need everyone thinking differently. If we split up, we'll solve parts of the puzzle, but we won't understand the whole thing. Storm's gaseous form compressed thoughtfully. Explain further. Sophia stood up and approached the hologram. Look, these 17 problems aren't random. They're connected. See how problem 7 solution affects problem 3? And problem 12 impacts problems 5 and 9? The other student studied the display more carefully. She was right. If Shara solves 7 using only her pattern recognition, she might miss that it needs to connect to 3, Sophia continued. But if Kay feels the emotional resonance while Shara sees the pattern, and Storm thinks about how it affects 4 dimensions, we'd see something none of us could see alone. That's inefficient, Shara observed. We'd be overlapping our efforts. Yeah, Sophia agreed. But inefficiency sometimes creates innovation. On Earth, we discovered that when people with completely different brains work on the same problem, they see things that specialized brains miss. They began working Sophia's way. It was messy. They argued constantly. Shara wanted precision, Kay wanted emotional alignment, Storm wanted dimensional coherence, Sophia wanted practical application. They interrupted each other, questioned each other's logic, and nearly gave up twice. But something remarkable happened. When Shara's pattern vision combined with Kay's emotional sensing, they discovered that the puzzle's problems weren't just mathematically connected, they were emotionally linked. The zephyrs could feel which solutions belonged together. Storm then showed how these emotional clusters existed in 4 dimensions simultaneously. And Sophia realized that the entire puzzle was actually a metaphor for how different species needed to think together. They solved it in 43 minutes. The fastest time in the Academy's recorded history. Professor ZYN floated before the group, his form solidifying with what appeared to be surprise. Explain your methodology, he commanded. We didn't specialize, Sophia said. We overlapped. We used our differences instead of dividing by them. That contradicts all educational efficiency models, Shara added, sounding almost troubled. Yet it worked. Because humans are weird, Kay's colors flashed with what might have been amusement. They don't think like we do. They combine things that shouldn't go together and somehow it works. Storm drifted lower, his gaseous form undulating. The human approach acknowledges that incomplete perspectives can achieve complete results when unified. This is profound. Over the following weeks, the Academy's entire curriculum changed. Teachers began deliberately mixing species in groups, encouraging what they called productive chaos, the deliberate collision of different ways of thinking. Human students, who had evolved in a world of chaos and unpredictability, became the bridge between specialized alien intelligences. Professor Zyn made a stunning announcement at graduation: "For 17,000 years, we have believed that specialization creates excellence. The humans have taught us something revolutionary. Sometimes, excellence comes not from specialization, but from the beautiful confusion of beings who think completely differently, working toward the same goal." As the human children received their diplomas, alien parents watched with newfound respect. These small, fragile creatures from a death world had brought something priceless to their civilization. They had brought the power of collaborative chaos. And the galaxy would never be the same.